But we were working together. We talked about how in every generation, it seems like could be the last days, the end times. You know, even when you read some of Peter and Paul's their writings, it seems like it was imminent, right? Like it could be just any day. And I believe the Lord leaves it that way. He leaves it so that we'll always be ready. See, if you knew the date setting for the return of Jesus is valueless. People have done it. They've tried. We can know the seasons, but the day and the hour is the Father's. So, but you know, people have set dates of when the Lord's coming back, and those dates have come and gone. But if you knew when the Lord was coming, your life might be different. You might think, well, you know, I would be ready. Maybe not. Because the Bible said, Jesus shared a parable about that. He said, if the servant knew when the master was coming home, if he knew the appointed time, he'd say, oh, I got 3 months before my master's coming home. I'm going to live it up. Let's party. Right? But he comes like a thief in the night. But one thing we said is, you can say what you want about the end times, the last days, but one thing we know for sure is this very moment, we're in the very last days. It's as close now to the last days as it has ever been. Right? So we're that generation. So we're going to live. We want to live to be ready. Jesus talked a lot about being ready. Right? That's what's important, to be ready. To know the seasons that we live in help us be wise. And you can just read the headlines here in the last month, and you can see, right, that there are things happening in this world. There's a sense that the things that are happening are they're monumental. Now, the Bible says that as times heat up, as these times that are on us heat up, it says something about fear coming on the world. Men's hearts failing them for fear. Now, you know, when was the stock market crash, the big one?
42. 49.
Was it 42?
29.
29? Okay, is that right? Clay usually knows those facts. 29. You know that people committed suicide?
Yes.
You know, when your heart is in your money, you know, money has a way of growing wings. Just flapping away. Now, you husbands, don't poke your wives in the ribs. Don't tell them that you give them a helping hand, flap away. Because I never say that about my wife. She's frugal. Anyway, fear. That's fear. What am I going to do? I want to share a little bit about fear today. One thing I want to say to you in Hebrews, it talks about the fear of man. The greatest fear of man is death. It says in all their lifetime they're subject to bondage to death. So, how do we as Christians approach fear? The Greek word for fear is phobos, which we get like a phobia from. You know, the world we live in now, you know, as far as counselors and different ways to deal with fear, anxiety, however you want to call it, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And fear is something that can paralyze us. Fear is something that can also give us an excuse not to do certain things. You know, a proverb says that a slothful man, he says, there's a lion in the street. And because of that, he doesn't go out. Fear can paralyze you. And so the fear of man is death. Now I just want to share with you a few things that fear says. Okay? Being afraid. Fear says, I won't have enough. Okay? Fear might say, I'm not intelligent so I'm not going to do whatever. Fear says they'll mock me if I tell them about Jesus. Has fear ever gripped you before? When you've gone to do something simple, like share the gospel with somebody? I mean, I kind of think of myself as being pretty bold in the Lord. But there are times when I meet certain people and their personality it just makes me fearful. I shared about a guy that I did, he had a shop where I bought lawnmower parts, and he was just a cold stone person. I didn't think he had a heart. I thought for sure there was a stone in there. You know, fear kept me from opening my mouth. And it wasn't like I didn't think I could take him or anything, you know. It wasn't that kind of fear. Going like that now. But fear can grip you, and it can cause you not to do what you ought to do. Because of fear, people don't go to college, or people quit school and drop out because of fear, insecurity, being timid. I was a fearful young man. Now, I would say maybe more shy. I mean, when I was 16 years old, I couldn't even call the pizza place on the phone. And a lot of that is rooted in, just inferior, being inferior. You know, not feeling like we have much to offer, low self-esteem, however you want to say it. There's lots of things that go into fear. But I want to start off, and I'm going to read a few more things. Let's turn to Proverbs